There are moments in life when pain becomes so deep that words can no longer explain it. You smile in public but cry in private. You tell people you're fine, but deep inside you're fighting battles no one knows about. There are prayers you whispered through tears, nights you stayed awake asking God why, and mornings you woke up exhausted from carrying burdens that seemed too heavy. You may feel forgotten, overlooked, and unheard, but hear this clearly today. God heard every silent cry. Every tear that fell from your eyes mattered to him. Every moment you felt abandoned was seen by heaven. Just because God is silent does not mean he is absent. Sometimes God works most powerfully in seasons where it feels like nothing is happening. While you were crying in secret, God was arranging breakthrough in secret. While you were waiting, he was preparing doors you could not open on your own. The enemy wants you to believe that your pain is permanent. He wants you to think your story ends in disappointment. But your current season is not your final destination. Storms do not last forever. Night does not last forever. Weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. God often all. OWS pressure before promotion. Before Joseph reached the palace, he endured betrayal and prison. Before David wore the crown, he faced giants and wilderness seasons. Before Job received restoration, he endured unimaginable loss. Their suffering had an expiration date, and so does yours. Sometimes God delays blessings because he is developing your character. He is teaching you to trust him when circumstances make no sense. Faith grows strongest when you choose to believe without seeing immediate results. If God showed up instantly every time, faith would never mature. The tears you've cried are watering the ground for future blessings. Your heartbreak is not wasted. Your waiting season is not punishment. God is building something greater than what you can currently understand. The same God who brought you through previous battles will not fail you now. There are blessings coming that will make sense of your struggle. There are doors opening that no person can shut. There is healing coming for emotional wounds you've hidden for years. There is restoration coming to broken relationships. There is peace coming to troubled minds. Do not allow temporary pain to make permanent decision. NS. Don't quit on life because of a difficult chapter. God is still writing your story. What feels like an ending may actually be a divine setup for a new beginning. When people walked away, God remained. When opportunities closed, God stayed faithful. When you felt weak, his strength carried you. You survived things that were designed to break you because God's hand was protecting you. Your tears have been noticed. Your prayers have been recorded. Your breakthrough has a date assigned by heaven. Keep praying, keep believing, keep moving forward. One day you will look back and realize that the season that almost destroyed you actually introduced you to a stronger version of yourself and a deeper relationship with God. Better days are ahead. Peace is ahead. Joy is ahead. Restoration is ahead. Open doors are ahead. Healing is ahead. There are battles people will never see because some of the deepest pain is carried in silence. Many people have mastered the art of looking strong while falling apart inside. They smile during conversations, go to work, take care of responsibilities, and continue showing up for others while carrying wounds no one knows exist. Behind closed doors, how? Ever they cry tears they cannot explain. They lie awake at night replaying painful memories, wondering when life will finally get easier. They pray quietly because they do not even have the strength to pray out loud anymore. If that sounds familiar, understand this truth. God sees what others miss. People may overlook your pain because your struggle is invisible to them. They only see your appearance, not your anxiety. They hear your laughter, but they do not hear the silent cries that happen when you are alone. They may assume everything is fine because you have learned how to hide your pain behind daily routines. But God is not fooled by outward appearances. He sees every burden you carry. He knows every disappointment that broke your heart. He understands every silent tear that rolled down your face when no one else was around. There are moments when you may feel abandoned because the people you expected to support you failed you. Friends may not understand. Family members may misinterpret your silence. Some people may even dismiss your pain because they cannot see the weight you are carrying internally. But God understands what human beings cannot fully comprehend. He hears the prayers you whisper through exhaustion. He sees the heartbreak you cannot put into words. Sometimes pain becomes so deep that language feels inadequate. You try to explain your feelings, but words fall short. You may not know how to describe your frustration, confusion, grief, or disappointment. In those moments, remember that God understands broken prayers. He understands tears as a language. Even when all you can do is sit in silence, heaven still hears you. There are people crying because of broken relationships. Some are grieving loved ones they never expected to lose. Others are struggling financially and wondering how they will survive. Some are dealing with betrayal from people they trusted deeply. Others are fighting secret mental battles they cannot discuss openly. No matter what category your pain falls into, God sees it all. Your hidden suffering has not escaped his attention. Every sleepless night matters. Every moment of emotional exhaustion matters. Every tear matters. Sometimes people think God only responds to loud prayers, dramatic worship, or public declarations of faith. But God also responds to the quiet desperation of a hurting heart. Throughout life, any individuals feel forgotten during difficult seasons because they do not see immediate answers. They assume silence means rejection. They believe unanswered prayers mean God no longer cares. But delayed answers do not mean divine neglect. Sometimes God is working in ways you cannot yet understand. He may be protecting you from things you cannot see. He may be preparing you for blessings you are not ready to receive yet. He may be strengthening your faith in ways that require patience. Your current pain is not proof that God has abandoned you. Remember that some of the strongest people in history experienced seasons of hidden pain. They cried privately, questioned their circumstances, and wrestled with uncertainty. Yet those painful moments became chapters that prepared them for greater purpose. Your tears are not weakness. Your emotional struggles do not make you less faithful. Your exhaustion does not mean you have failed. It means you are human, and God meets people in their humanity. The world may ignore silent suffering, but heaven never does. God sees your private heartbreak. He notices what others overlook. He understands what others misunderstand. And even when no one is, he calls, no one checks in, and no one seems to notice your pain, God remains present. He sees you. He hears you, and he has not forgotten you. One of the hardest seasons a person can walk through is the season where heaven feels silent. You pray, but nothing seems to change. You cry out to God, yet your circumstances remain the same. You ask for direction, healing, breakthrough, or relief, but instead of immediate answers, you are met with what feels like silence. In those moments, many people begin to wonder if God is listening at all. They start questioning whether their prayers are reaching heaven. But silence does not mean absence. Just because God seems quiet does not mean he has stepped away from your situation. Many people wrongly assume that if God is truly working, they should immediately see visible evidence. They expect doors to open instantly, pain to disappear overnight, and problems to be solved quickly. But God often works in hidden places before he reveals visible results. The roots of a tree grow underground long before fruit appears on its branches. In the same way, God may be building something beneath the surface that you cannot yet see. When nothing appears as to be changing, faith is tested. It is easy to trust when prayers are answered quickly. It is easy to celebrate when blessings arrive immediately. But true faith is developed when you continue trusting during silence. Real faith says, even when I do not understand what God is doing, I still believe he is working. There are moments when God intentionally allows waiting seasons because waiting develops spiritual maturity. Immediate answers may solve temporary discomfort, but delayed answers often produce long-term strength. Waiting teaches patience. Waiting builds endurance. Waiting exposes whether your faith is based on God's character or on quick results. Sometimes God is silent because he is protecting you from things you do not fully understand. You may be asking for doors that would lead to pain. You may be pursuing relationships that would damage your future. You may be demanding opportunities that would overwhelm you before you are prepared. What feels like rejection may actually be divine protection. There are also seasons when God is rearranging circumstances behind the scenes. While you are frustrated by delays, he may be aligning people, opportunities, timing, and sources for your future breakthrough. What appears inactive from your perspective may actually be divine activity happening beyond your visibility. Think about how many times people quit too early because they misinterpret silence as abandonment. They walk away from faith right before their breakthrough arrives. They stop praying because answers are delayed. They lose hope because they expected immediate results. But many life-changing moments happen after seasons of silence. Breakthrough often follows periods of waiting. Testimonies are often born through prolonged battles. Victory frequently comes after moments where defeat seems certain. Silence can also become a season where God teaches you to listen differently. Sometimes life becomes so noisy with distractions that people miss God's quiet guidance. During silent seasons, individuals often learn to become more spiritually sensitive, more patient, and more dependent on him. Your current silence is not permanent, it is simply a chapter. God has not ignored your prayers. He has not forgotten your tears. He has not abandoned your future. Even when circumstances remain unchanged, God remains active. He works in conversations you are not part of. He opens doors you cannot force open. He closes paths that would lead to destruction. He strengthens you internally while preparing external blessings. Faith during silence requires trust without evidence. It means believing before seeing. It means standing firm when emotions suggest quitting. And one day, what feels silent now will make sense later. You will realize that God was working in ways you never imagined. You will understand why certain prayers were delayed. You will see how hidden seasons produced visible blessings. The silence may be uncomfortable. The waiting may be painful. The uncertainty may be frustrating. But silence does not mean absence. God is still present. God is still moving. And your breakthrough is still being prepared. One of the enemy's greatest lies is convincing people that their current pain will last forever. When someone has been struggling for a long time, it becomes easy to believe that nothing will ever change. After repeated disappointments, unanswered prayers, financial hardships, broken relationships, health battles, or emotional exhaustion, many begin to feel trapped in a cycle with no ending. They start believing that this chapter of suffering is their permanent reality. But that belief is not truth. Pain has an expiration date. Every storm eventually runs out of rain. Every night eventually gives way to morning. Seasons are designed to change, and difficult seasons are no exception. The pain you feel today may be intense, but it is not permanent. Your current struggle is a chapter in your story, not the final sentence. When people remain in hardship for long periods, they often confuse long with forever. Just because your breakthrough has taken longer than expected does not mean it will never happen. Delays are frustrating, but delays are not denials. Timing that feels slow to you may still be perfectly aligned with a greater purpose. Many people give up because they become emotionally exhausted before their season changes. They stop praying because they are tired of waiting. They stop believing because they have faced too many disappointments. They stop dreaming because life has repeatedly let them down. But quitting in a temporary storm can cause someone to miss a permanent blessing waiting on the other side. Some of the greatest stories of victory began with seasons that look hopeless. There were people who sat in dark seasons wondering if life would ever improve. They faced betrayal, loss, rejection, failure, and deep emotional pain. In the middle of those seasons, they likely felt forgotten. Yet their stories did not end there. Their painful chapters eventually gave way to restoration. There are moments when pain feels endless because healing happens gradually. Emotional wounds often take time. Financial recovery may require patience. Restoring broken trust can be a process. Personal growth rarely happens overnight, but gradual progress is still progress. Just because things are not changing as quickly as you hope does not mean nothing is changing at all. Sometimes healing happens quietly. Strength develops slowly. Opportunities emerge unexpectedly. Doors open when least expected. Pain often teaches lessons that comfort cannot teach. During difficult seasons, people discover resilience they did not know they possessed. They learn how to pray with sincerity. They develop compassion for others who are hurting. They gain wisdom through hardship that success alone could never provide. That does not mean pain is enjoyable. It does not mean suffering. G should be celebrated. But it does mean suffering can serve a purpose. While it lasts, and it will not last forever. Some individuals are currently carrying burdens they never imagined they would face. They are fighting silent battles and wondering if relief will ever come. They need to remember that temporary suffering should never define permanent identity. You are not your pain. You are not your failure. You are not your disappointment. This season is passing. Even if your emotions tell you otherwise, circumstances are changing. Opportunities are forming. Healing is happening. New beginnings are being prepared. There will come a day when you look back at this painful season and realize it did not destroy you. It refined you. It taught you endurance. It deepened your faith. It revealed your strength. The tears you cry today will not last forever. The heartbreak you feel today will not last forever. The confusion you feel today will not last forever. This chapter has an ending. Your struggle has an expiration date. And when your season shifts, the same story that once brought tears to your eyes may become the testimony that inspires someone else to keep going. Hard season. Sometimes we feel meaningless while you're living through them. When life becomes painful, confusing, and unpredictable, the first question many people ask is, why is this happening to me? It's a natural question. When doors close, relationships fall apart, finances become unstable, health declines, or dreams seem delayed, people often assume their struggles are pointless. But what feels like destruction may actually be preparation. Your struggles are preparing you for something greater than you can currently see. Growth rarely happens in comfortable environments. Strength is developed under resistance. Patience is developed through waiting. Wisdom is often born through mistakes and painful lessons. Character is built when life forces you to endure situations you never would have chosen on your own. Think about how athletes train. They do not become stronger by avoiding resistance. Muscles grow when they are stretched, challenged, and pushed beyond comfort. In many ways, spiritual and emotional growth works the same way. Difficult seasons often build strength that comfortable seasons never could. Many people pray for success, leadership, influence, and major opportunities, but they underestimate the preparation required to handle those blessings responsibly. Without preparation, success can destroy a person faster than failure. God may be developing your character before releasing your next opportunity because what you are asking for requires greater maturity. Sometimes struggles reveal weaknesses that would otherwise remain hidden. Pride, impatience, fear, insecurity, unhealthy relationships, and misplaced priorities often surface during difficult seasons. While those discoveries may feel uncomfortable, they create opportunities for growth. You cannot heal what you refuse to acknowledge. Pain also teaches dependence on God rather than dependence on temporary things. During seasons of comfort, people can easily become self-reliant. They may begin trusting money, relationships, careers, or personal abilities more than God. But hardship often strips away false security and reminds people where true strength comes from. There are individuals who discovered their purpose through painful experiences. Some became leaders after surviving rejection. Others became compassionate mentors after overcoming trauma. Some found their calling after enduring seasons of loss. S, the very thing they wanted removed, became the experience that shaped their future impact. This does not mean every painful event was sent by God. Life includes human mistakes, broken systems, and difficult realities. But even in painful circumstances, God can create purpose from pain. What feels like delay may actually be training. What feels like isolation may actually be focus. What feels like rejection may actually be redirection. What feels like loss may actually be the removal of distractions that no longer belong in your future. Many people want the crown but want to skip the process. They want influence without humility. They want success without discipline. They want blessings without growth. But preparation matters because sustaining success requires internal strength. Your current struggle may be teaching you how to manage future blessings wisely. It may be developing emotional maturity. It may be strengthening your patience. It may be teaching you discernment in relationships. It may be building resilience you will need later. There are lessons learned in valleys that mountaintop seasons rarely provide. Valleys teach persistence. Valleys teach gratitude. Valleys teach prayer. Valleys teach humility. One day you may realize that the season you tried hardest to escape was the season that prepared you for your greatest assignment. The betrayal taught you discernment. The delays taught you patience. The failures taught you resilience. The heartbreak taught you wisdom. The waiting taught you faith. None of it is wasted. Even now, while you are struggling to understand your circumstances, growth is happening beneath the surface. You are becoming stronger, wiser, and more prepared than you realize. And when the next chapter begins, you will be ready for what you once prayed for because your struggles prepared you to handle it. There comes a point in every difficult season when people begin to wonder if things will ever truly get better. After enduring heartbreak, disappointment, unanswered prayers, betrayal, financial pressure, emotional exhaustion, and seasons of uncertainty, many quietly ask themselves if restoration is even possible. They may believe certain losses are permanent. They may assume that what has been broken can never be repaired. But no matter how painful your story has been, restoration is still possible. Life has a wave. Why of leaving scars? Some scars come from relationships that ended unexpectedly. Some come from dreams that never unfolded the way you imagined. Others come from opportunities that slipped away. Family conflicts that created distance, or seasons where everything seemed to fall apart at once. These moments can leave people feeling empty and hopeless. They begin to believe that what they lost can never be recovered. But restoration is not limited by human expectations. Just because you cannot see a way forward does not mean one does not exist. God specializes in bringing life to situations that appear beyond repair. He can rebuild what seems destroyed. He can heal what feels permanently damaged. He can create new beginnings from painful endings. Sometimes restoration looks like receiving back what was lost. Broken relationships can be healed. Financial stability can return. Opportunities can reappear in unexpected ways. Dreams that were delayed can still become reality. There are moments when life gives back what pain tried to take away. But restoration is not always about receiving the exact same thing back. Sometimes restoration means receiving something better. It may mean health. Higher relationships instead of toxic ones. It may mean greater peace instead of constant anxiety. It may mean stronger faith instead of dependence on temporary things. It may mean discovering a new purpose that is far greater than the plans that originally failed. Many people remain trapped in pain because they focus only on what was lost. They replay old disappointments repeatedly. They become attached to doors that have already closed. They hold on to past versions of life that no longer exist. While grieving losses is natural, staying emotionally stuck can prevent people from recognizing new opportunities for restoration. Healing often begins when individuals choose to believe that their future can still be meaningful. Your best days are not automatically behind you because life became difficult. Your story is still being written. Restoration also requires patience. Broken things often take time to rebuild. Emotional healing may be gradual. Trust may need to be rebuilt carefully. Financial recovery may happen step by step. Progress may feel slow, but slow progress is still progress. There may be moments where setbacks happen during restoration. There may be days where emotions resurface. There may be times when progress feels invisible, but temporary setbacks do not erase long-term healing. What was meant to break you can become the very thing that strengthens you. Your testimony may one day inspire someone else who feels hopeless. The pain you survived may become proof that recovery is possible. There are blessings ahead that you cannot yet imagine. There are relationships ahead that bring peace instead of pain. There are opportunities ahead that align with your purpose. There is healing ahead for wounds you thought would never close. Do not define your future by your current circumstances. Your present pain is not the final chapter. The same life that brought unexpected heartbreak can also bring unexpected healing. The same season that produces tears can eventually produce joy. The same story that feels broken today can be rebuilt into something beautiful. What feels ruined today is not beyond restoration. There is still hope. There is still healing. There is still joy ahead. There is still peace ahead. And one day you will realize that what you thought was the end was actually the beginning of a restored life greater than what you imagined. Possible. It is often in the final moments before breakthrough that people feel the strongest urge to quit. After carrying pain for so long, waiting through delays and fighting battles that seem endless, exhaustion begins to speak loudly. It tells people that nothing will change. It convinces them that their prayers are wasted. It whispers that giving up would be easier than continuing to believe for better days. But this is the moment where persistence matters most. Many people never realize how close they are to their breakthrough because they stop too soon. They walk away during the final chapter of their struggle because they cannot see what is happening behind the scenes. They mistake delay for denial. They confuse temporary silence with permanent abandonment. They allow emotions to make decisions that could alter their future. Faith is often tested most intensely when results are not visible. It is easy to remain hopeful when progress is obvious. It is easy to celebrate when prayers are answered quickly. But true endurance is revealed when you continue moving forward despite uncertainty. Real faith continues to believe when there is no immediate evidence. There are many nights when life feels repetitive. You pray the same prayers. You face the same struggles. You fight the same thoughts. You wake up hoping things will change, only to face another day that feels exactly like the last one. These cycles can drain emotional strength. They can make people feel trapped. But repeated challenges do not mean permanent defeat. Sometimes breakthrough happens gradually rather than suddenly. While you are waiting for dramatic change, smaller victories may already be happening. Your mindset may be improving. Your emotional resilience may be growing. New opportunities may be quietly forming. Healing may be taking place in ways you cannot yet measure. The problem is that people often overlook small progress because they are focused only on massive results. They fail to notice that they are becoming stronger. They ignore the fact that they are surviving situations that once would have destroyed them. They underestimate how much growth has already taken place. Persistence requires discipline. It means choosing prayer when frustration says stop. It means choosing faith when fear becomes loud. It means continuing to work toward your goals even when motivation feels sent. It means refusing to let temporary emotions create permanent regret. There will always be voices encouraging surrender. Some voices come from doubters around you. Some come from painful past experiences. Some come from your own fears and insecurities. Those voices will remind you of previous failures. They will magnify disappointment. They will attempt to convince you that your future will mirror your past, but your future does not have to repeat your pain. Every successful person has faced moments where quitting seemed easier. Every person with a powerful testimony has survived seasons where giving up felt tempting. The difference is that they kept going long enough to witness change. Sometimes all you can do is take one step at a time. You may not have the strength to think years ahead. You may not know how everything will work out, but you can keep moving forward today. You can choose not to quit today. You can keep believing today. Small acts of faith create long-term transformation. One prayer, one decision, one step forward, one refusal to surrender. These moments matter more than people realize. Your current battle is not proof that you are losing. It may be easy. dense that something valuable is worth fighting for. Great breakthroughs often face great resistance. Do not allow temporary pain to make you abandon permanent purpose. Do not let frustration erase your faith. Do not let delays destroy your determination. The chapter you are in right now is not the end of your story. Keep praying, keep believing, keep standing, keep moving, because better days are not just possible, they are closer than you think. There comes a moment after every painful season when clarity begins to replace confusion. What once felt unbearable starts to make sense. The prayers that seemed unanswered reveal hidden purpose. The delays that cause frustration begin to look like protection. The heartbreak that nearly destroyed you becomes part of a testimony that proves how far you have come. This final stage is where many people realize that everything they survived was shaping a greater story. While going through difficult seasons, people often focus only on survival. They are simply trying to make it through another day. They are carrying emotional wounds, financial burdens, family struggles, personal disappointments, and silent battles that no one fully understands. In those moments, it can feel impossible to imagine a future where peace returns. But eventually, healing creates perspective. One day, you may look back at the nights you cried yourself to sleep and realize those tears were not wasted. They taught you how to depend on God in ways comfort never could. They stripped away false confidence and replaced it with deeper faith. They showed you that your strength was never meant to come solely from your own ability. The people who walked away from your life may have created pain, but their absence may have protected your future. Relationships that ended may have made room for healthier connections. Closed doors may have redirected you toward better opportunities. Delayed dreams may have prepared you for greater responsibilities. At the time, those losses likely felt devastating. You may have begged for certain situations to remain unchanged. You may have fought hard to preserve relationships, opportunities, or plans that were never meant to continue. But with time, wisdom often reveals that some endings are necessary for new beginnings. Your testimony becomes powerful because it carries evidence of survival. People are inspired. Read by stories of individuals who endured darkness, yet refused to surrender. Your journey may eventually become encouragement for someone currently facing the type of pain you once experienced. The things that once embarrassed you may become examples of growth. Past failures may become lessons that help others avoid similar mistakes. Your healing may offer hope to people who believe recovery is impossible. This stage also teaches gratitude. After experiencing hardship, people often appreciate ordinary blessings more deeply. Peace feels more valuable after chaos. Stability feels more meaningful after uncertainty. Genuine relationships feel more precious after betrayal. Pain changes perspective. It teaches people not to take simple